Welcome to the 2021-2022 school year. We are so excited to be working with you this year. Before we get started, I'd like to take a moment to introduce the middle school team. My name is Becky Yeoman, and I teach middle school math and literature.
I'm Sarah Malmstrom, and I teach science and orchestra.
I'm Kendrick Cronthal. I'll be teaching geography, humanities, and enrichment.
And I'm Jack McBride. I'll be teaching Spanish with Kendrick and an enrichment class, which will be global ecology this year.
Before we talk more about our specific classes, we'd like to talk to you about universal expectations and logistics. This year in the middle school, all classes will be following the same classroom expectations. We expect students to be responsible for themselves and their learning, respectful of others and the environment, and fun to be around.
Responsible means students come to class prepared with their books, paper, notebook, pencil, correcting pen, assignments, and any other necessary items for each day's task, that they stay on task and participate in class, that they are safe, keeping hands, feet, and objects to themselves, ask questions for clarity, and make choices that will help them and their classmates learn and produce quality work.
Respectful means that students will follow directions, listen when others are speaking, show care for personal property and the property of others, as well as be open to receiving feedback and learning from your mistakes.
And being fun to be around means students show grace and courtesy to everyone in the classroom and embrace kindness. They're problem solvers in the classroom, and they observe the golden rule, which is, of course, treat others the way you wish to be treated. We'd also recommend following the lesser-known silver rule, which is to wear deodorizers in the classroom.
In addition to these classroom expectations, all classes will be following the same late work policy. It is important for students to stay on top of their assignments. Without sufficient practice, it will be difficult for them to solidify their understanding and have success. Late assignments this year will receive a maximum score of 4 out of 5 points or a B grade. Students who are absent will have extra time to make up work without it affecting their grade. So however number of days that they are absent will be the number of days they have to make up work.
At this level, we are coaching students to become more independent and responsible. When students fall behind, we will be reaching out to them first, giving them the opportunity to right their own ship before parents get involved. We will, however, be in contact with you if your child's grade falls below a C or if late work becomes chronic.
All classes will strive to meet each student where they're at. So students facing challenges will be given extra help, provided additional examples, or given accommodations as necessary. Students that excel at various topics will be encouraged through enrichment opportunities, including extensions, challenge problems, projects, and etc.
This year, we will also be reinforcing the use of a planner with students. We will be creating one Google Classroom for all middle school subjects. Since students will be learning in person this year, they will be physically turning in assignments. The Google Classroom will be a resource center and provide students with classroom announcements and reminders.
We look forward to an awesome year of personal and academic growth. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to all of us. Now we would like to give you more information about each of our subjects. In middle school math, we will be laying the framework for more advanced concepts that students will encounter in high school. Our focus is on essential foundational concepts and building confidence in math. In 6th grade, it's foundational math and beginning pre-algebra. In 7th grade, it's pre-algebra, and in 8th grade, it's Algebra 1. This year, we will be using the Reveal Math program by McGraw-Hill. This curriculum has received green marks, which means it meets expectations by Ed Reports. For more information about specific topics your child will be learning at their grade level, please see the curriculum documents in Bloom's. In addition to text and in lieu of IXL this year, we will be using Alex, an online learning tool that helps students as they learn, retain, and master topics at their own pace. Note, all students will be given a username and password in the first weeks of school with access to math resources, tutorials, ALEX, and course textbook online. With respect to homework, students will generally have a homework assignment every night, with the exception of test days. The amount of homework will be dependent on whether or not your student takes advantage of class time, but hopefully will not exceed 30 minutes per night. Please encourage your student to maximize class time. Not only will this reduce their homework load, but it also provides them with access to me so I can help them if need be. In order to receive full credit on assignments, students must attempt all problems assigned. They must also include the problem from the book, unless it is a word problem or if it's pre-written, and show their work. Showing work is an essential part of the homework and learning process. This allows me to give partial credit and helps me in diagnosing errors and run turns. Please review the homework rubric that will be sent home with your child. Letter grades for math will be calculated using the following formula. Participation is 20%, daily assignments and projects is 40%, and tests and quizzes are also 40%. Finally, students in 7th and 8th grade may use calculators during the year. 6th graders have already purchased calculators. However, in the beginning of the year, we like to not use them, and we like to practice our arithmetic skills, and they get access to those in the spring. I also wanted to talk a little bit about literature this year. Kendrick and I will be co-teaching literature on Monday and Wednesday afternoons. And we will be reading, discussing, analyzing, and dissecting various genres in large and small groups and as individuals. We hope to instill a love of reading and an appreciation for literature. And our first book this year will be George Orwell's Animal Farm. Thank you.
Hello, I am Kendrick Kronthal. I am going to be the humanities teacher this year, and I am excited to get right into it. I wanted to talk to you all a little bit about what we are doing specifically in our humanities time block. So I'll read for you a little bit about our goal, which will be we're going to build our foundation on critical thinking skills and concepts that students will encounter in their future humanities-related classes, such as in high school and beyond. Main focus, though, will be on analyzing and comprehending text to the best of our capabilities, as well as cultivating relationships between current events, history, and writing. So we are at West Seattle on a rotation for our humanities coursework. Last year, they covered mostly U.S. history, and this year our main focus will be on world civilization, as well as adding a writing component as well. So on Mondays and Wednesdays, we are going to be mostly covering world civilizations, and we're going to use the Houghton Mifflin Hardcore textbook. There we will look at texts that describe and analyze historical key events throughout human civilizations. Next thing, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we'll be mostly focused on writing, like persuasive writing, formative writing, expository writing, as well as creative writing. We will look at news articles and analyze those as well, which will lead into Fridays, where our main focus will be current events. So kind of a little bit of a mixture on what we'll do between Mondays through Thursday. During current events, we are going to be demonstrating active listening skills, making sure we're using proper key terms in order to analyze current events, as well as connecting those to mostly our world civilizations and other humanities coursework. So we'll be looking at news articles, interviews, TED Talks, to kind of enhance a Socratic seminar style of discussion, which is ultimately a main goal of mine. As far as classroom expectations go, we are going to be covering the same ones throughout each class. such as being responsible for yourself and learning, making sure we're coming to class prepared, keeping our things to ourselves, being respectful, as well as fun to be around. So like showing grace and courtesy to everyone in the classroom, making sure that we're kind, which will ultimately help us lead to our class goals. So we have more social goals, which are taking pride in school itself, making sure that we're respecting ourselves and each other, at others, working productively with everyone and valuing our differences, which will in turn help us achieve our content goals. So making sure that by the end of the year that we have been able to develop fluency and our confidence in writing, learning and practicing writing in a variety of different genres, like the ones I mentioned before, gaining an understanding and appreciation of world cultures and perspectives, being able to understand and appreciate the diverse cultural voices found throughout early human civilizations of the world, gaining insight into themselves as citizens and where they play a part in their community, being able to collaborate and participate, as well as being empowered to think and act as leaders in our classroom, school, and society. I'm looking forward to a great year, as well as, going along my first year in the West Seattle community. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Hi, I'm Sarah Malmstrom, and I'm excited to teach life science this year. We cycle through life, earth, and physical science during the course of middle school. And this year, we'll be focusing on living things, how they're organized and defined, the cell system, human body systems, reproduction and growth of organisms, and change of characteristics over time. Students will learn and apply knowledge of these topics through classroom discussions, note-taking, informational reading from a variety of sources, worksheets, lab investigations, collaborative partner and group work, projects, tests, and quizzes. We'll also cover sexual health through the Family Life and Sexual Health curriculum, which is based on the most current research to prevent pregnancy, STDs, and sexual violence. So students will be expected to have homework on a daily basis, which sometimes may be work that wasn't completed in class. A lot of the work will be done in the interactive science notebook, where they show their understanding of the topics covered in class through notes, illustrations, foldables, short answers. And to wrap up a module, students may be given a test or a project, and tests may consist of multiple choice, fill in the blank, true or false, or short answer, and I may give pop quizzes or planned quizzes on a weekly basis. Students will be working on individual or cooperative work throughout the year, and that will require time outside of class. Labs and projects will allow students to work on their communication skills, managing goals together, following directions, and working effectively together. Our big annual project is the science fair, which is scheduled for the week of March 14th, 2022, and I will provide more information after winter break. So in addition to homework, projects, labs, tests, and quizzes, we do have a rotating assignment, which is the Famous Scientist Wanted poster, and Science Current Events, which is a paper where students summarize and make connections to the article that they've chosen. Science class will be broken down into 3 categories, where 40% of the grade will be based on their tests and projects, 30% on labs and quizzes, and the remaining 30% on homework and classwork. So students are expected to participate and ask questions and have good discussions with one another, and science class is fun. So I'm just really excited for this year. And if you have any questions for me, please reach out to me on Bloom's, or there will be more information, or the information that I just covered, in a document form uploaded on Bloom's as well. In addition to teaching science, I also teach orchestra, and orchestra is a place where students get to learn a new instrument and learn to be a musician, playing music together and working hard to just work on their craft of their left hand and right hand, doing different things and making beautiful music. And that requires patience and persistence and a lot of effort. And that really pays off when the students can make beautiful music together. So students will be either picking up a new instrument or continuing to work on their violin, viola, or cello skills, and work on their techniques, and continue to improve on their tone, bow control, reading music, pitch, rhythm, and musicality. The success of orchestra really depends on each individual student, and that really means coming to class prepared with their instruments, music, a pencil, and what I think is the most important is having the mindset to learn and having a good attitude. It's definitely rewarding to make music together, and in order to do that, it requires a lot of hard work as well, and having that attitude, learning attitude, and having a growth mindset will be just so essential to being successful. So I will have more detailed information on where to rent instruments, what materials they need in regards to books, and sizing for differently sized students will need different size instruments. And so all of that will be available for you on Bloom's as well. So please check that. And again, just message me with any individual questions. So the first week or two will be focusing on just getting back into the basics, and then students will be required to bring all their materials starting second week of school. So I will post a reminder for that, but that is it for now. Thanks for your time, and I'm excited to teach your children. Thanks.
Hello again. Once again, my name is Jack McBride. I'll be doing student support, and I'll also be teaching one of the enrichment courses. My course will be Global Ecology for 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. In this course, we'll be using and adapting a curriculum I'm really familiar with from my time working for Fundación para la Tierra in Pilar, Paraguay. It is a curriculum called Voces de la Naturaleza, developed by Para la Tierra to educate children around Paraguay, and has since been adopted by Peace Corps Paraguay for all their scientific education volunteers. It's really focused on developing children into scholars, scientists, and eco-leaders, so people who use their voices to protect nature, their communities, themselves, their futures. And this is done with the 3 C's. So the 3 C's are creativity, curiosity, and connection. And that's connection to nature, to ourselves, to our communities, to our world. So it has lots of games, activities, and various topics of discussion and investigation that we'll be developing the course from. Beyond that, we'll do deeper dives into marine biology, primatology, and have a little bit of flexibility to dive into other stuff based on the class's interests. We'll be using textbooks including Primate Adaptation and Evolution, 3rd edition by John Flegel, Essentials of Oceanography by Harold Thurman and Alan Trujillo, among several other texts that I'll be drawing sources from. And the grading will be done 30% on participation, 20% tests and quizzes, 50% on assignments and projects. The final project will be 20% of that, and all the projects will be 30%. So it is heavy on the projects, but they will be somewhat open-ended and involve a lot of creativity and have flexibility for student interests. So I'm really excited to get into that course and to get to know everyone better throughout the year. También, Kendrick y yo vamos a enseñar español para todos. Kendrick and I will also be teaching Spanish for the 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. I'll also be teaching it to the 4th and 5th graders. In that course, we'll be focusing on conversation. He and I will try to speak mostly in Spanish, but present materials in both English and Spanish, as well as present opportunities for discussion, as well as more typical homework and things like that. So we'll be using a variety of resources, but really be focused on trying to become somewhat conversational in class after having a lot of time, I know, with online resources last year. So we are also very excited for that. And I'm looking forward to next Wednesday and getting to see everyone for the first classes.